carrying that pencil around for days.
No, this is...
You can't guess.
This is what was my pencil, and then you must have put it in your pocket because I just went over there and got a different one and sharpened it. So that's what happened.
Well, you left a pencil on my desk, so I feel like... What? What is that? Oh. 3, 2, 1. You left a pencil on my desk after we put the whiteboard up. And so I feel like I'm now starting to just associate pencils with you. Like CB was here.
Card.
Yes.
I have 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like those Regents exams where you had to have 2 number 2 pencils or whatever. Mm-hmm. When we were, what is it? The aughts? Yesteryear?
The aughts yesteryear. Whitney, I love your shirt.
Yeah.
You gotta show it off.
Look at this.
Stand.
Okay.
Look at the many facial expressions.
Okay.
And they're all uncomfortable, as somebody said.
Yeah, those are great.
Okay, Whitney, you said yesterday on a Zoom, on a actually Google Meet, that you had something to wear today. And I just had this crazy feeling. And I brought...
What? What?
I brought this in case it would be the same thing. It's not the same thing. But it is pretty funny.
It's pretty
I
great.
have no idea what's happening. No! Where did you get that?
Instagram has been advertising this to me ruthlessly.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're listening.
I thought maybe you would have it. And so I
Is
was
this
like,
a gift?
No.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll take it.
I just thought maybe if you were going to wear this shirt, I could throw this on too. But
yeah. You
put
should.
it on. So might as well.
Throw
right
it
now.
on.
Wardrobe
If
change.
you're listening, none of this makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm wearing a Nathan Fielder shirt because if you listened to our episode a couple episodes ago, we talked about our love for Nathan Fielder. That's amazing. That's amazing.
I love it. And
Lisa,
now I know.
turn.
I get to look at the both of you and him in stereo right now.
It's like he's here with us.
Hubba, hubba.
Almost. Lisa, do you still feel, because it's been like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, do you still feel in love with Nathan Fielder?
Really putting me on the spot here. I think that it is maybe transitioning to more of like a sibling love potentially.
Oh, good. Good. That's what I wanted to hear.
I like telling you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
But it's, I do potentially see it with y'all. So I highly am encouraging. I mean, I'm encouraging Whitney every day about the daily DMing that you're trying to do with him and stuff. So we're just going to keep seeing how it goes. Keep up the good work.
Keep up the momentum. I need to get back to my daily DMs. Mm-hmm. I actually had a moment where I panicked because I was like, what if I actually do make a connection somehow with him and then he has all these weird DMs from me? So I unsent them. But like Emily's laughing in the background. But I can just start again.
There's no record.
There's no record of it. Yeah. Cause I was like, I don't know, like what if something happens and then like
It's a deal breaker.
Yeah. And he's like, it would have worked if you hadn't done this.
Yeah. Well, I think if there's one thing that we know about
You're
Nathan
wearing
Fielder.
a shirt with his face on it.
But the DMs were too much.
Yeah.
The shirt's fine. The shirt is just, I'm supporting TikTok shop, really.
Yeah.
Not so much Nathan Fielder, but
If there's one thing we know about him is that he appreciates logic.
Yes.
And you have a solid argument, I think, for the positioning of something new, maybe between the two of you.
Yeah.
So just keep going hard.
and it's all, if I just say it's like all for the bit, then I can like play it off
Yeah,
and be
you can-
cool.
yeah.
Because if it's for the bit, then it's like, I'm not
We
weird.
can do anything for the bit.
You can do anything for the bit. It's so liberating. What's that?
I have little heart stickers.
Oh, thank you.
We're really excited to come at you today with the No Promo podcast because we're going to talk about.
Oh, my pudding.
Too hot to wear 2 shirts.
Yeah.
Keep
it is-
talking.
My heart's upside down.
We're putting little
Which makes
sticker hearts on ourselves.
The Nathan, as fast as it went on,
It's too hot.
the Nathan Fielder shirt came off.
Yeah.
We're really excited about, you were saying, we're really excited about today's episode.
We're excited about today's episode. We're going to be talking about, I think, a little bit about the industry, the creative industry through a queer lens as a whole, but also be talking a little bit about the origins of TGW Studio.
Yes.
And a little bit of wherever the conversation goes. I'm sure there'll be laughter and tears. But
oh God, what's coming next? Tears?
But this is the No Promo Podcast. Welcome to a new episode.
Peep show.
I am joined by my wonderful colleagues, Whitney and CB, and my name is Lisa.
This is CB.
This is CB.
This is CB.
This is CB.
Wow. I can't tell.
This is CB. Yet again,
Wow.
if you're listening, this must just be so disorienting. Like, what's happening?
That's okay.
If
Ask
you're watching,
something only the real CB would know.
Oh man. The real
I smell
CB.
really bad. I'm just like, I don't know. Part of why I had to take that shirt off.
oh
is
no.
I don't know why.
no.
I'm not usually stinky. Anyway,
Do you shower every day?
no.
Oh, okay.
But what's something only CP would know?
So many things. There's got to be a lot of.
What is the code to the door over here? Don't say it out loud.
Oh, but I know that.
Whitney knows
Wait,
that.
I just gave myself away. I just gave myself away.
See, that was my point.
That was really smart, Lisa.
Dang it.
Okay. All right.
All right, fine. I'm Whitney, okay?
Mhm.
I'm Whitney.
Hi, Whitney.
Hi.
Welcome. So what's our 3 words? I want to gasp this time.
Okay. I'll do it. No Promo, the podcast where we talk about the most shocking, delightful, and horrifying.
Lisa's looking at me like I'm supposed to be gasping.
Together.
Lisa was like,
Oh,
I
it's supposed to be-
What's going on?
It's supposed to be in unison. See, CB would know.
See, I
The
don't
real
know
CB
what's
wouldn't
going
have
on
done
right
that.
now.
The real
I don't
CB
know
would have
who.
gasped.
Yeah, you're
I
an
was trying to give you
imposter,
the floor.
CB.
Who are you?
I'm BC.
I'm actually BC.
BC. That would be fun. A whole alter ego.
Anyway,
So today we're talking about the TGW origin story, which inherently sounds like a villain story arc. Like TGW is like the dark ship or whatever. What's in Star Wars? The
the Death Star.
Yes, the Death Star.
Mm,
That's
the
kind of
Death
what
Star.
it makes
Mhm.
us sound like.
Yeah.
But we are famously known on TikTok, very famously known as the world's gayest marketing agency.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
kind of it came from the mugs. World's gayest employee.
Yes.
Very nice. Very
Yes,
nice, guys.
yes. We are. We're here. We're queer. Get used to it.
Here.
We've been here for a while now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I have been here for less than a year,
Just
but more
under a
than
year.
6 months.
Yeah. That's amazing.
And you all, TGW
Glad you're
Studio. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
Glad to be here. TGW Studio has been here on this planet since 2012.
Yes. Correct.
And I know we've talked about this, Lisa, but basically you wanted to create the place that didn't exist yet, that you wanted to work at.
Yeah.
Because you started your career in like straight white men marketing. Is that right?
Yeah, I definitely had a lot of different experiences leading up to opening my own firm. And a lot of it was, I think for the most part, most of the experiences were not like traumatizing or awful in any way. I think that they were like, generally speaking, I really appreciated all of my bosses. But I think at the time, and obviously we're talking way pre-COVID, like, you know, it was several of my positions were cubicle land, and several positions, you know, I had work colleagues that were very much still in the closet, and I was too, depending on where I was. And, you know, so, I mean, there was definitely, and that's still very much alive and well today as well. And I'm sure a lot of our listeners can relate to some of that as well, because I think that we're unique in a lot of ways. And that's why I really wanted to do it. And I guess like, on the harder days of being a small business owner, I just try to keep that in mind, that like there, for me anyways, like a greater purpose of like trying to challenge the way that things still are in a lot of ways, even though there's a lot of conversation around things being different when it comes to work culture and life and everything. So, but previous positions were, you know, I learned a lot, and I just had this desire to really do something different with the skill sets that I was gathering along the way.
Yeah.
And also, you know, that purpose-driven mission piece as well, you know.
Yeah.
My very, very first position was at a research firm, and I did like analytics for pharmaceutical companies.
Crunchy.
Like SSRIs.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
What were you analyzing?
Studies.
Oh, so it wasn't
Responses.
It was marketing, or it was not?
It was market research. So that was my first
Market
entrance
research.
into.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of the SSRIs that you?
The one that starts with an A.
Alazapram. No.
Man, oh man.
Brand name or generic?
Alexapro?
Oh, Lexapro.
Lexapro.
But it's
No, not
Lexapro.
I don't know.
Alexa, what's that
Lexapro.
Alexapro?
It's a long time ago. But there were two main ones, and Pfizer, whatever Pfizer's was one of the pharmaceutical prescriptions that we did quantitative and qualitative studies for, and focus groups, and also lots of like questionnaire survey stuff. So that's really where I got my start, and was kind of like, we're doing this.
Yeah.
But it was a great experience. I learned a ton. And, you know, was a good dip into this world. So,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's worth noting, as we're having this conversation, that only 1% of marketing agencies are woman-owned, and even less are queer and women-owned.
Yeah.
So that is sort of another layer to this that makes TGW Studio exceptional.
Yeah. And BIPOC as well, along with the LGBTQ plus, like, you know, segment of people. Like, it's, you know, less than 1%, which is crazy.
That is
And I'm excited to
crazy.
talk about that piece. Like, let's talk about TGW more, but also like, I want to talk about all the white marketing girlies that are in marketing, creative, and advertising, and just how that top tier level is still painstakingly not them, you know.
Right.
We're less than 1%.
That's the crazy thing, is that like marketing is so woman dominated in terms of like the field broadly.
Yeah.
But then the actual people that are, you know, in those top level, executive level, whatever positions and opening agencies are primarily white men.
Yes.
Still.
Yes.
So going back to your like straight corporate marketing days, I'll never forget when you told me that you used to wear heels to work.
Oh, yeah.
Lisa wore heels to work every day.
Most days, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were they like heels, or like a little kitten heel?
They were more than kitten heel. Yeah. They
Okay,
were
more than
like
kitten heel.
Like these ones.
Wow.
And then
Two?
super pointed toe. You
Oh,
know,
wow.
too. Yeah.
That when you told me, I was like, were you out at that time, or were you blending in?
I was both. Yeah. Depending on the position. But they were actually like, they probably wouldn't be the case now. I haven't worn them in a while, but like, yeah, they were comfortable after a while, which is a weird thing to say because they are also designed by men.
Yeah. We should
let's
do the
file
history.
that in under,
The history of high heels.
Add that to our
Right.
list. The history of high heels.
Why women wear heels.
Yeah, I sure did.
Wow.
Yeah, it's, you know, I was good at, you know, showing up with whatever that appropriate culture was or whatever. But it felt very much like, not because of my queerness, but just because of the way that, you know, it felt more, you know, let's say a couple decades ago, like, these are my work clothes and these are my play and home clothes.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a staunch difference between those two things at that time. And for a long time leading up to it, you know.
It's like the show Severance, which I've watched one episode of, but like I know that the backstory is you have your innie and your outie.
Yeah.
So it was like your work persona was straight coded.
Whatever her character's name is in that show, that was like how I dressed. Yeah.
What character?
With like the pencil skirts.
The redhead?
Yeah, the redhead.
Okay.
Helly.
Yeah.
Right?
I just
Helly?
like Helly.
Right?
Helly?
Isn't that her name?
That's
Helly?
right. Yeah.
Wow.
It's Helly.
Okay. Helly.
I don't know.
What a name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like short for Helen, or like a nickname? Helly.
I
Probably.
don't remember.
Yeah.
What about you, CB? Did you ever wear heels and like, were you straight washed in a previous marketing job?
No, I was just thinking about my first marketing job. So I went to school for design. So I've been primarily designer.
Okay.
I'm creative director at TGW.
Yeah.
But,
Yes.
So I had a few like freelance jobs, but my first real design job was at a place very close to Times Square called Digital Media Rights.
Digital Media Rights? Okay. That was the name of the company.
Yes.
Wow.
And my job basically was to scan through obscure Asian movies, like scrub through the, like just watching it.
Yeah.
Find the hottest part.
What?
Screenshot it. See, I was so good at this job. What? Screenshot it, then make a like cover art for the movie, and then it would be like used on streaming.
Oh wow!
But like sex sells. So
okay,
that's what I had to do
in that way.
Yes,
the hottest
the most, even if it's just like a background character, it doesn't even matter.
Oh my gosh.
Just you just got to get people to click.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a nightmare.
Wow.
But it was
so
funny.
You did not enjoy it.
I did think it was pretty funny.
It sounds purpose driven to me.
I feel like maybe you've shown me a few examples and they're great.
So,
if you have any, we'll put some in the show notes.
In a way, it was a very gay job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't out.
You would have been real good at that, I'm sure.
Yeah, that does sound like, even though it's silly and random, it does sound like something you would enjoy for a period of time.
Yeah, I'd excel at.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Wow. So wait, were you ever like in those jobs, did you carry yourself differently? Like in terms of
not capable of being anything else.
There is no other
I don't think
version.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was never. I was saying earlier, like my parents, they knew.
Oh, right.
They knew it when I was like in elementary school.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were earlier. CB said that when you were in elementary school, your mom would be like, you'd watch a show with a gay character, and then at the end, your mom would say,
my mom would turn to me and say, honey, you can tell me anything. Like every time without fail. It was so obvious.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that it was like, it was like a safe, like opening the conversation.
It was kind of like a trap, really.
Yeah.
Dangling the carrot.
Yeah. You're like, you say
it's
that
like
now,
she said
Mom.
it like with concern, like I don't know if I really want to know this, but
I'm saying this because this is what I'm supposed to say. Yeah.
Oh, no.
But for the other, for the queer working professionals or whatever industry you're in right now, or not queer, but whoever you are, like we all, to some extent, I think, maybe mask a little bit when we have to clock in and stuff. But I think the queer experience, there is still, and I don't know what the exact percentages, it's almost half are still, closeted at work. It's at least 40%. I believe HRC.
I hate that so
clocked
much.
that. Yeah. I mean, that's the reality that we live in today. And certainly now even more here we are in 2025, from a safety standpoint even. But I think, that's part of the reason why like we have fun with these mugs, because for those of us that are able to be out in the workplace, like let's show it off, and like try to uplift others on the Zoom calls and whoever we interface with throughout our days. Yeah. Just to try to encourage anybody that isn't, that we're all here and have your back from afar. Yeah. We get to be a safe space here at TGW Studio. That's like the thing that I'm most dedicated to for people to come as they are and to really like mean that and to be a safe space. So if you aren't able to be in that safe space all the time, hang out with us online. We're here for you.
Yes, that is right. Yeah, I'll throw in our socials. We're at TGW Studio on TikTok and Instagram, and also at nopromo podcast. And there's a lot of queer content.
Yeah, absolutely.
If not like 99%.
I want to know, Whitney, if you had a straight Sona.
Yeah.
Oh,
Arizona.
yes, absolutely. Interestingly, I thought that like, so when I came out at like 21 or 22, it was very much like, if I tell you, you know, but I wasn't like, I never talked about it at work. Like no one at work knew. And I had a job where I was like a radio morning show host. And I was very concerned that if people knew, it would, like I could lose my job or something, because it wouldn't be like the image that they were going for their morning show host or whatever. So I never talked about it on the air. I thought it could like ruin my career.
Yeah.
And then the irony was that after that, a few years later, I started doing content, like became a content creator, and like my queer identity ended up being this very like affirming thing that led to a lot of connection and community and stuff. So that's for anyone who's like in the closet and worrying that their queerness could ruin their career. It might make your career. It might like, you know what I mean? Like it could create amazing opportunities if it's safe to do so, of course. But
yeah, I'm obsessed with Cole Escola right now, as most people in my personal life know. And they just said a really hilarious thing the other day. What you said just reminded me of it, is they asked them what they would say to, I believe, like queer youth or like people that are still in the closet, something to that extent. And Cole just goes, "You're right and they're all wrong." And I just love that so much. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Like, it's true.
Yeah.
Like, just try to be you as much as you can. It's hard out there right now, 2025.
It is.
Which I know is not necessarily the direction of this conversation today, but it always seems to come back to that. So
it does. It does. And I think, ideally we want the world to move in a direction where TGW Studio is not so exceptional and so rare. Like it's like, we're grateful to have this in this climate in our country and in our world. But like, I want there to be TGW studios on every block.
Every
rooftop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And to
like Starbucks, like how they're just on every corner.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a really cool opportunity of like what I'm trying to do is like find more folks on a national level that like want to work with people that are aligned, values wise, culture wise, lifestyle wise, because it's hard out there, and just because we do understand differently. We are a queer creative and strategy communications firm, but it's not just during Pride Month, we do this all year long, and, especially the 11 other months out of the year. But yeah, I think, just coming kind of back to the origin story for me, having a creative agency in this day and age, like really does come back to how male dominated still this industry is, which is not surprising. I mean, if you talk about Fortune 500 companies right now, I think 50-ish of them have women CEOs, less BIPOC even. So out of 550-ish are that. That's that. And that's, I guess progress, and, it could be worse. I think what I like to come back to with this whole thing is just like, we are the people in our society and culture and country and world that create messages, right? We create messages. There's tons of different numbers out there that say like how many ads or messages that an individual sees on a daily basis. It's in the hundreds. We know at least that much.
That's
of those
crazy.
hundreds of messages. Yeah. And I mean, like, that's like, I think an early aughts study and like numbers. So,
wow.
Who knows what it is actually now. So if you think about it in that way, like, and advertising being a male dominated industry, like those messages are all coming from the top, from that archetype, period. Less than 1% are this. And that's why I'm still doing this.
Yeah.
Full stop. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we really are thinking about that. Like, how is that okay still? Just, I don't feel like that's representative at all.
No. No, of course. And I mean, even I think back to, last week's episode when we talked about, well, it's this week's, but when they see this, it'll be last week's, about shaving, the history of shaving and hair removal, and how that was entirely like men came up with the whole, Gillette, what was his name?
King Camp Gillette.
King Camp Gillette, came up with all of it. And then it just went from there, and it was just men telling women to shave, and none of the marketing was coming from women, at least not originally. And how ludicrous that is. Like, it's just, So by virtue of us being a queer owned and largely operated and women owned marketing agency and creative studio, everything we do is through that lens that, that we're marketing to, like, I don't know, other people, like,
it's
us
a
lot of the time.
And I think have a good and better hunch in general, I think, because, we're also just used to strategizing about how to communicate with, the general mass and straight folks too. So I think talking about what it means to create, whether it's design or writing, developing ads, developing a website, like whatever it is, really coming at it from a lens of like, that is more representative is better work, because the whole idea is like, how can we resonate with people? How can we make this resonate with someone and make them want to stick around or ultimately participate in or engage in this thing? So, I mean, authenticity is where it's at. The end. I mean, that's just it. So, my hope is that over time, that 1% number will continue to increase, but it's really hovering there. And there's a lot of challenges as to why. But I guess like there's other industries, most that are still very much male dominated. We're in a male centered society. So I think that that's inevitable, but I think that it hits less potentially it matters less in some realms than others. And this realm, I think, is just not talked enough about in terms of like the damage that it does and, just the status quo of it all. Yeah. So yeah.
Bangs fist on table.
It really does.
Yeah, it does.
And I think that we are not positioned. One key challenge is like women, non-binary folk are not, positioned with a framework that allows for like leadership. I think also similarly to like, girls in STEM and whatever, like by 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, like their key peak, like interest in all of that stuff, like just dips way low. Like you see that all of a sudden because they get discouraged. They start getting messaging from their peers that, that they're going to need to be a mom one day. And so I think that leadership standpoint in this industry is like, like women bear children and, do unpaid labor at home and what they're going to also run an ad agency. I hate to say that like, that's a huge piece of it, but it is. It 100% is.
Well, and you have very mindfully also like designed this business, built this business around the fact that like you are a parent and, you like we have the 4-day work week and we're very proud 4-day work week practitioners here at TGW Studio. And, I know there's other things in place that in terms of flexibility that just allow for like leadership and parenthood, motherhood, which we need more of as well.
Yeah. And it's, like it's really good and it's exciting to continue to do things differently, successfully. But it's still janky. I mean, it's like until the mass, are doing things a certain way, it feels like, square peg, round hole.
Yeah.
Is that, but we're trying to be that like lighthouse, trying to be an example of like, how can we maybe do things differently?
We are luminaries here at TGW Studio.
Yes.
We took where did you find that quiz? Adobe?
Yeah, there's an Adobe quiz of like
what kind of creative are you?
What kind of creative are you? And many folks on the team got Luminary, which is very cool.
And so that made me think that there were only 2 options, but there were in fact 8 options. And it just shows that creatives are similar because 4 of us got Luminary, and then you and Emily got Guide.
Yeah, the guides.
The guide.
It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
As we're talking about, I just want to say, as we're talking about TGW Studio and our marketing and our work and all of that, I just want to remind you, dear listener, that you can work with us if you want to.
Yeah.
You can
call me.
You can literally give us a call. Our phone number's on our website.
Yeah.
You can call Lisa. You could call Lisa.
Yeah,
Lisa might answer the phone.
What?
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Lisa never answers the phone.
Don't tell them that, CB.
Sorry. Cut that out.
Answer the phone.
Cut that out.
No, but yeah, I mean, and that's just it too. Like, I wanted this conversation to come from a place of like encouragement, but also just like that I want to instill some like shock and horror to the people that are not necessarily. Thank you for CB gave me a gasp. Thank you. Because that's crazy. I mean, come on, y'all. Like, that's crazy that there's so few of us that are like at the helm when you're being fed with a baby spoon, hundreds of messages, if not more, a day. So, I think that's important to talk about, but also the challenge piece, I was talking about like the STEM and girls in STEM and that, that whole topic. And I think that the same, it can be said for like women, non-binary folk that are, creatives as well.
Yeah.
I think that there's a level of discouragement that happens there too. So
definitely
got to lift each other up.
Yes, we do.
Well, pretty soon all of those men are going to be replaced by robots.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least someone's replacing them.
Yeah.
Something.
We're all going to be replaced by AI.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to be talking about AI
and then
soon
gender
too,
won't
I'm
matter
sure.
anymore.
CB, I've been meaning to tell you this for months. It reminds me of Star Wars. No,
Star Wars?
What's the character in Star Wars that's like the robot? CB.
CP.
C3PO?
CP3O.
C3PO.
C3PO. So I think of that and I'm like, you're like C3BO.
Oh, yeah.
Except I don't like BO. That's not
I'm stinky today. I don't know what is going on. It's like part of why I'm so quiet. I'm like, I can't move.
No.
I'm sorry.
Fine.
There's something wrong. This is not normal.
Okay.
I'm too stinky to talk.
Don't look at me. I'm stinky.
Emily, I love it when Emily is laughing in the background.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't smelled anything if it makes you feel better.
You're in the clear.
I meant to tell you
so
for months. I think of you as CP3BO. C3BO.
Yeah.
Thanks, Whitney.
Look at literally the physical reaction. Just covering the
fine.
armpits.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're good.
I mean, yeah, I don't. Yeah. I don't. I was gonna tell you to just like do a check, but
do a little dance. You smell just fine.
Yeah, I'm feeling good now.
Yeah.
Thanks. That works.
Yeah, positive affirmation.
Are you like a shower every other day type?
I don't even know.
What?
Shower when it feels like I need to.
When it feels right.
I don't really know how often I shower. Probably every other day.
I shower twice a day.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Isn't your skin falling off? My skin will fall off. That's the problem.
It's okay.
It's very delicate. I mean, you can see.
Twice a day?
Yeah, twice a day.
Twice a day. So far, so good. I mean, my I'm definitely a little dry sometimes, but these things happen. So yeah, just a reminder again that like you can work with us if you want to. Want to.
Absolutely. Like if you want to, you can call us.
You can reach us. What's our podcast email again?
nopromo at TGW Studio.
Yes. No promo podcast, or is it no promo?
I think it might just be no promo.
No promo at TGWstudio.com. You can always slide into our DMs. We welcome that.
Yes.
We love a good DM slide.
Absolutely. What else do you want to know about this? place. What else should we talk about?
You were asking me what I
thought we
wanted to
were
know.
asking the viewers. Oh, you are. Like shout right now at the screen and then we'll answer.
Go.
Okay, wait. It's like Dora the Explorer. You got to give them time to react. That's very good.
That's very good. Yes, we were in Time Magazine for our 4-day work week.
That's right. Yeah. Plug that.
Yeah.
Plug that.
That was a long time
magazine.
ago. But yeah, that was fun.
If it was more than 10 years ago, I would say we need to let it go. But like, it's not been that
We're
long.
within that threshold.
Yeah, exactly. It was
absolutely.
like 1998. We were in TGW or we were in Time Magazine one time.
Yeah.
What's new? Is anything interesting coming up? Do we have any like thing we want to share before we log off?
I want to share that I don't think that robots are going to be taking over.
Yeah, maybe we can have an episode about
I think
AI.
we should definitely talk more about that, particularly for anybody that's in this industry. But, I think that it's going to be okay in the end, because I do think that we need to have that, like,
someone's calling
every
already.
Every phone is ringing.
It's because we told them
human
to call.
touch, particularly in this industry. But, CB and I get into this conversation frequently, and I think it will be a good one to explore for sure.
I think so too.
But yeah, no, summer's here. Happy Pride.
You are going on a podcast, another podcast.
Oh,
You have to plug
Tomorrow.
this podcast on the podcast.
You need to plug the podcast on the podcast.
Plot on the pod. Yes.
Plug on the pod.
So for those that are curious to know, there is some support out there for the less than 1% of women and non-binary owners of creative firms. And that is one of the sources is called Own It. And it is a annual summit, and really cool folks. I believe, they're, representatives across the country. And so they have a podcast as well, where they do interview other female or non-binary folks and their experience and how they got to where they did, and talk about challenges and opportunities. So I'm excited to talk more about that, and talk more about what the heck TGW Studio is up to, and
what the heck?
How we can just, again, continue to support each other, because, I think a lot of people think about marketing and advertising and are like, are like, is this an important aspect of of society? And I do think that it is. I do think that disseminating messages to get to people that need to hear that message or should hear that message is really important. TGW Studio does a lot of public awareness campaigns. We work in a ton of different industries. We are a community impact and social impact firm. So we align with folks that are drinking the same Kool-Aid we are.
That's right.
So near or far. So it's really important work. And I hope that, we can all just continue to come together more and understand who is really behind the computer screens, making the things that, you're looking at every day. Yeah.
Makes me angry to think that I am subliminally consuming 100 ads a day, and that most of them are by men.
99
That
of
makes
them.
me angry. No.
Yes, but it is true. Ultimately at the end, and here's the thing, in this industry, there is good female representation on the coordinator level, on the managerial level.
But that makes me mad.
And
that makes me mad that
but once we get up to the C-suite,
that makes me so annoyed.
Yeah.
And mad.
That's why we wanted to talk about it today.
There's a bird out there that was flying.
The marketing girlies out there, come talk to us. We think you're the greatest. Keep going. Keep going. You're amazing and talented, and work for a women or non-binary owned agency. That's what I recommend.
Queen.
Yes,
queen.
Sorry. Lisa,
we don't say that anymore.
Lisa, you're such a girl boss.
Yeah.
Boss bitch.
Boss bitch.
Hey, girlies, keep going.
Girl boss.
No, don't. That whole era, I just don't like. That was like 10 plus years.
It was.
That whole like girl boss.
I bought in. I really bought into that.
I couldn't.
Yeah. It's kind of
I can see
embarrassing
that.
now.
It's not. There is an energy. No. I respect it. There's an energy, and there's a lot of like legit girl bosses. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, and I think that that's important. You are important, and I appreciate you.
But you're just a boss.
At the
You're just a
time,
boss.
at the time, there's like no inclusion for other variations of that, you know, like when that whole concept first came out. And I also think that, like, again, men didn't take it as seriously, you know,
No,
it's like,
it was so.
do we call them boy bosses proudly?
Yeah, we should. BOI.
Boy boss and like
Boy.
that, you know, cursive font and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
I like that.
We should.
That's what I want to be called.
let's
I'm
make
going to
some
start saying that
shirts.
to people. What?
Let's make some shirts.
Boy
Boy
boss?
boss.
Can
That's
it be
cute.
BOI?
Yes.
Boy boss.
Yes, it can.
Boy boss.
Stay tuned. If you're interested, we'll do a short run.
Yeah. Limited edition. Boy boss.
Be proud.
Boy boss.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you want to find us off hours, stay connected with us, you can head over to tgwstudio.com. You can follow us on Instagram at nopromo podcast and at TGW Studio, on TikTok at TGW Studio. And Lisa's phone number is 58. Lisa's personal.
You can find it.
cell phone.
It's no, don't.
No,
do
your
that.
cell phone.
Oh no.
No, I would never. Or would I?
But
BC would. The alter ego of
I could-
CB.
Yeah.
BC would leak it.
BC would. No.
BC would leak it on the dark web.
But we have lots of heart stickers, and we should send them to people.
Yeah. Yeah, we should send out love letters. Lisa, do you have any last words? Do you have any words of wisdom?
Do you have any final words? Keep asking questions. Don't just go with the status quo. I feel like I say this every time. It's okay. It's not scary. And it's part of the human experience. And I'll do it with you. Keep asking questions. And like, let's make it better. Let's just make it better.
Let's make it better.
Thanks.
How do you feel about that
colleagues.
C3BO?
Let's make it better.
All right. Until next time.
Thanks, Whitney. Thanks, BC.
BC.
You're welcome.
C3BO.
Talk to you soon.
Love you. Bye.